What if you're not too anxious? What if you're actually having a normal reaction to somebody being emotionally unavailable or distant? In today's video, we are going to break down major differences. And this is a question that I don't think we're asking ourselves enough. Obviously, on this channel, we talk so much about the different attachment styles, but securely attached people are not robots. It's not like they don't have feelings. They literally will feel uncomfortable when there is unavailability around them. But how they approach that unavailability makes a massive difference. So we're not going to just break down 5 major differences between being securely attached and uncomfortable with something unhealthy, which is a good thing, versus somebody anxiously attached in a situation. But we're also going to talk about what a secure person does in a situation where somebody's unavailable and how they handle that situation with grace and in a way that honors themselves and allows them to be the one that usually people are kind of looking to chase after or show up for because of how they do this one thing right. One of the first things I want you to notice here is that it's not the anxiety that's the problem. Securely attached people will feel a certain degree of anxiety or discomfort when somebody's being unhealthy, but they show up, number one, by setting a boundary around it. They're like, hey, this isn't acceptable behavior. It's not cool. And they let the person know. Whereas somebody anxious, when they feel anxiety, they will diminish their own needs in a relationship in favor of trying to please that other person in hopes to maintain proximity or closeness to them. So that's the first thing. A securely attached person will say, nope, this isn't cool. They'll call it out. An anxiously attached person will say, no, it's fine. I'm going to pretend it's okay. I'm going to diminish my own needs to try to fit into what I hope this person expects of me. Number 2, a securely attached person will feel a certain degree of discomfort. They won't like it. They can have a little bit of anxiety, or they can feel kind of stressed that maybe somebody they're dating isn't really showing up with consistency or in a way that they would like, but it's not going to ruin their day. It's not going to be something where they are sitting there going, oh my gosh, do they even care about me? And they start to panic and ruminate. Whereas an anxiously attached individual, they will ruminate. It will take up space. It will distract them from work or their friendships. They may even constantly prepare to cancel plans on friends or family members in case that person that they're starting to date or somebody in their life shows up or comes through. They'll like drop everything that they're doing for that person. So there's a lot more both rumination and preoccupation. Hence anxious, preoccupied attachment style. They literally become very preoccupied and sort of fixated on this person. Whereas a securely attached person, they may not like something, but they'll go on with their day. It's not going to really take them away from their sense of self. So another really big differentiator. Number 3, the securely attached person doesn't personalize the unavailability behavior, whereas an anxiously attached person deeply does. So what you know here from integrated attachment theory is that each attachment style has different core wounds. So when we have a core wound, that's the meaning that we give to certain situations. And in this particular case, what you're generally going to see is that securely attached people have significantly less core wounds and much less intense ones. If somebody's being unavailable, they're going to usually think, oh, that's that person's problem. They're unavailable. And they may try to fill in the blanks by thinking things like, maybe they're not ready. Maybe they're not an emotionally available person. Maybe they're not right for me because I know what I'm looking for in terms of how somebody should show up. Whereas an anxiously attached person, they're going to sit there and they're going to go, do they like me? Is it my fault? Am I bad? Am I not good enough? Am I unlovable? Am I being rejected by them? Will everybody reject me? Like they'll start to go into all of the personalized meaning. And so they're taking somebody else's behavior and they're letting it define their character, which is a huge part of what we work to rewire in the personal development school. Because not only is that unjust, but it's also really painful to carry that. And you're not born with core wounds like that. They get wired into you through repetition and emotion over time, which is part of what fires and wires neural networks in our brain. And we can rewire those things. We can change them. I just wanted to pop in here and let you know we are doing a 7-day free trial to the All Access Membership Pass at PDS, which means you get access to literally everything inside of the school. And this includes the 4 live webinars I do with our students every single week. And on top of that, you get access to all of our different courses. We have over 55 different courses on relationships, communication, boundaries, emotional mastery, guilt and shame, learning your needs, so many different facets that are really important to master our lives and feel really good about our lives going forward. And last but not least, there's a daily community event. We have trained facilitators and coaches who are in there doing that work, showing up to support you on your journey every single day. Please join me on the other side. Come check it out. See if it's a fit for you. I'd love to see you there. Go ahead and sign up by clicking the link in the description box below. Here's what we're really going to see next. And this is where it sort of heats up a little bit. Then we'll see that when an anxiously attached person feels like somebody's pulling away, they try to fill that gap. So they will text more, they will cling more, they will try harder to fill that gap, and they'll do that while the securely attached person won't. Securely attached people may put themselves out there a little bit and say, hey, thinking of you, haven't heard from you. But the more that gap exists, the securely attached person will do something to show that they're there and that they're interested. But beyond that, they will not. They won't betray themselves and be like, okay, I don't like how I'm being treated and I don't feel comfortable here. And I'm going to keep people pleasing you anyways. They won't abandon and betray themselves that way. Whereas anxiously attached people, they will. And part of that's because of those core wounds. They're literally trying to escape from those core wounds. And they're like, feel abandoned or not good enough. So let me try harder so that I can convince myself that I am good enough, or so that I can avoid abandonment. So their behavior is always a response to the core wound that they're trying to avoid feeling. And that's, again, why it's important to rewire them, because those core wounds are really responsible for our attachment behaviors. Then the very last thing that we'll often see here is that anxiously attached individuals, they will also struggle to soothe outside of that dynamic. They don't know how to soothe themselves. So when they feel all this stress, they keep trying to get soothing from the person who's hurting them. And they then will try as a secondary response to get soothing from people around them. But they don't know how to sit with themselves and recognize how that person is making them feel in their body, which often keeps them blind to the behavior itself. In other words, if you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough, then you think it's about you, and you're not ever asking yourself a very anchoring question, which is, how is this person actually making me feel? And when your response is, oh my gosh, this person doesn't make me feel good at all. I feel anxious all the time. I feel on high alert. I feel stressed. I'm obviously not happy. But because you're so consumed with these ideas that it's your fault, or you're not good enough, or the fear of you being abandoned, you fixate on that external person instead of coming back to yourself to solve that internal problem. Whereas a securely attached person, what they do here for number 5 is they end up in a dynamic where they're like, this person isn't making me feel good. They honor their feelings. They're in their body. And that's part of what enables them to be good at setting boundaries and not trying to the point of betraying themselves in that process for somebody who's not making them feel comfortable. So they'll communicate, they'll be open, they'll indicate interest, but if they don't see a healthy response, they move on. And it's not really a big problem for them to do so. Whereas anxiously attached individuals, it is. Now, what do securely attached people do really well? Well, we just mapped out those major points, but the last big piece here is that they will call out the behavior. Just to summarize, if the person doesn't show up, they call out the behavior to vet how the person will respond. So they say, I would value more consistency in this dynamic. They'll say that, and then they'll watch and see, are you available for that? Because I'm looking for consistency. And if the person does not rise to that occasion after the communication has happened, they take that as, okay, I know that you're not available, and that's where we're at. So this is a really important part of allowing these things to come together, is seeing them for what they are. If you are somebody who's struggling as an anxiously attached individual, and you're struggling and this has been a really hard time for you in relationships, you deserve better. And you are deserving of love where somebody's actually showing up for you the way that you are for them. Anxiously attached individuals are usually very loving, very sweet, so kind, so thoughtful, and literally deserve the world. But if you don't allow yourself to have those boundaries and to set those parameters and uphold your standards, then that's where it gets really difficult, and you can do that work. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope that you stick around. And if you do, please like, share, and subscribe. I would love to have you here as a part of our community. I put daily YouTube videos out here for you, all about healing your attachment style and understanding different attachment dynamics between people and relationships. Thank you for watching.